What the fuck is the cotton ball diet?
That one was troubling. Apparently people would eat cotton balls like to
For
fill
what?
themselves up and not have any food.
How did that not kill them? I thought, like, what?
Yeah. To be honest, I was Googling fad diets to kind of like jog my memory for this episode.
Yeah,
And
same.
that was in a link, one of the
No.
links that I read. And it was like, it wasn't recommended. It was like, please, for the love of God, don't do this. And I was like, who did this in the first place?
It's not recommended to eat cotton balls. Just
Yeah.
so disclaimer, don't do this. But also, people have done this.
If you ever did the cotton ball diet, seek help.
Immediately.
Go see a therapist.
Immediately.
Like, that sounds funny, but I'm not joking. Like,
no, we're so serious.
Go.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Trigger warning. This episode, we are talking about diets. We're talking about dieting. We're talking about calories. We're talking about bodies. We're talking about all sorts of like food related topics. So if that's triggering for you, we'll probably talk about eating disorders. Who knows what's going to come up. So if you are working on your relationship with these categories or with these topics, this episode, go in, I guess, lightly or don't listen at all, because trigger warning, that's what we're talking about. So just so you guys know.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so this episode we are talking about the diets that we have been on, that we have personally experimented with in our over 30 years of being on this earth, and over 20 years of dieting and trying to be as small as possible for society to love and accept us, of course. So yeah.
This is going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I feel like not only are we we're going to talk about them, and then we're going to give them star ratings. So like 5 stars, 4 stars, 2 stars. Cotton ball diet, no stars.
Negative 10 stars.
Negative 10 stars. But before we get into that, we are going to do our highs and lows. So, Hayley, what are your highs and your lows of this past week?
My highs. Feeling pretty good. Mentally, I feel like on the upswing a little bit, aside from the low point that was Saturday. But overall, I feel like I am coming out of like the Pisces season sluggishness.
Oh, God, yes.
Which is always so nice to get out of. But a little apprehensive about going into Crybaby Aries season. Because that's always a little rough. That's a little rough one for me. I was thinking about my highs and lows earlier, and once again didn't write them down, and now they're nowhere to be seen in my brain.
Shock with
anyway. Yeah. Shock with love. I guess this counts. We've almost doubled our TikTok following because a few of our videos have been popping off.
Crazy.
We're close to 2,000 followers on TikTok. So if you're not one of them, what are you doing?
You should join us. Join us. Join us.
Join us.
Yeah.
And it has been nice getting to kind of tangle with people online. Not necessarily fighting with them, but tangling with some of the pick-me's in the comments.
Have there been pick-me's?
Well, on one of them, it's the I broke my wife story.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. And of course, people are like, well, it's not his fault. Like, why is she so insecure? And just like intentionally missing the point.
Right.
But what are you going to do? I feel like I'm being nice to them.
You are. I think so.
Thank you. I try. That way you're not like, Hayley, what are you doing?
Well, I don't want you to eat the children, Kronos. I just, stern hand.
I mean,
I know.
They're gonna frick around and they're gonna find out.
I mean, they need to know that every time they leave a hate comment, like, you gobble it up, and all it's doing is leveling you up further. They're just getting
Exactly.
you to, like, demigod status at this point. I told the girls
Right.
in the shop, you're like Pac-Man. You're just like, yummy, 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 yummy. So if
I
anything,
am.
they're just fueling the Hayley, like, at this point. Like,
Yeah, I have, in terms of like having opinions online, I have definitely reached the point where like I don't care if you disagree with me.
right,
It doesn't make me mad anymore.
right.
So I'm just like we can go back and forth all day. I'm enjoying this. I don't know if you are, but I'm having fun. And you just look
God.
stupid.
Right. Yeah.
Because of course on I follow this devil's lettuce influencer and she posted something about enjoying that and some Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
And of course,
Oh.
my ass was like, love this, but the Bucks doesn't support the people of Palestine, so we should not do that. And you would not believe how many people I've been arguing with, and it's not even over like that issue. It's like about wokeness,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, oh, you white people always do this. You make your oppression all about you, and I'm like, when did I say this was about me?
Right. Weird. Weird take.
Very weird.
That was a weird take
Very
from
weird.
that person. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I'm
Yeah.
having fun.
Yeah. I mean, it is fun. And for you, I don't read the comments ever. Like, if you guys comment on Instagram something mean, like, I'm never gonna see it. Hayley will, but like, I don't. I mean, if they're nice, Hayley tells me they're nice, and I go look at them. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you. That was so nice, you know. But if they're mean, I don't read them, so it's fine.
I wish you'd look on Instagram a little bit though.
I'm sure, because
Because
that's what I'm
sometimes I
supposed
get
to be
on
doing.
there. Yeah. Because sometimes I get on there and people are like being nice or asking questions. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, my bad, everybody. My bad. I post and ghost, baby. I post and ghost. I'm
We
sorry.
love that for her.
Yeah, I love that for me. Mental health awareness.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
But
Until we blew up, I
Instagram,
was posting and ghosting TikTok. Are you drunk off the booch?
maybe the booch got me.
Oh man.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
Quit nursing that thing and just drink it.
I can't chug it, dude. Okay.
Is it
Anyways,
getting too warm?
it's just no. It's cold. It's getting. I can't do sour,
Mm,
so it's super sour. It's hitting the back of my jaw,
yeah.
and I'm like,
Ew, yeah.
yeah. Anyways, do you have any more highs and lows?
Lows. My jaw hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did the dentist say?
So nothing is wrong with it in terms of like my bite isn't off and I'm not like dislocating in my jaw joint. So she recommended these mouth guards that I can wear at night to keep from clenching if that's the
Mm-hmm.
problem. I know I need to get a new pillow. I feel like that might be a lot of the issue.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, because there's nothing really wrong, like the only thing they could really do is put Botox in these muscles. And they have to do it in both sides apparently, which I am
Oh,
annoyed about because this side's fine.
yeah.
But it's $11 a unit and they would want to do 20 units on each side. So it's like $450. So that's like a long time down the road thing for me.
When
But
you
I
said
have my $20 mouth guards.
yeah, see if that works. Because when you were like $11 a unit, I was like, pop off! Like, Botox is so cheap now, and you're like 20
Right?
units. I'm like, oh,
Per side.
poor side, God,
Right. I thought that I could pick my number of units. Like I could be
yeah,
like, just give me 10.
yeah.
Apparently not.
Okay, okay. Well, see how the mouth guard works. See how the mouth guard works.
Yeah. I forgot to
Wow.
wear it last night. But I'm getting fully into like old people mode because I have a posture thing like to help, like it's like a strap thing to help my posture.
Same.
And I have a cervical neck stretcher
Same.
that you lay on because
Yes.
I feel like it's all working together and it's working against me.
Yeah. I have like a fancy pillow and everything too. Welcome.
Oh, damn.
Welcome to 30s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Happy to be here. I do like being 30, but I don't like how dramatic my body is.
Mm-hmm. Same seas. Yeah. Let's
see. Other lows. I don't know if I want to go into that. Let's see what else. Damn, I actually had some. The low is that I can't remember anything. That's a low.
Okay.
Your turn.
We'll add it. Okay. I had a pretty good week. I'm also, Pisces season's always just depressy season for me. We both really vibe in that energy of Pisces, of just like, we don't know why we exist. We just want to rot in bed, not motivated to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Aries season always picks it up. I always start to feel better around the equinox. I just do. I personally like Aries season. I just like the energy. So I had a really good week last week, I think. My therapy today, which went really well. Even though she got a little biblical on me. It's fine, it's the South. I just really wish religion wasn't in my therapy sessions, but whatever.
That's
Yeah, beggars can't be choosers in the South. But I will say a low is when we did, and I talked about that. I was going to share this. Then the episode before this, because this one's going to come out next, we did the life updates, and I wasn't really sure how I was going to express what's been going on in my life. And because of that, I came off very inarticulate and all over the place. And I said like a gazillion times. It was driving me crazy when I was editing it. But I just wanted to be clear that, if people choose to listen to this episode after that one, the relationship I have with my mom, and I said this towards the end, but, I put in the effort for 10 years of taking care of her, for being that person supporting her, for being her caregiver through the addiction, through all the hardship that she went through. I was the daughter that I feel people expected me to be. And it's just now recently that I have decided to put my life first before her life, because it came to that at the end. It was like either I was going to survive or she was going to survive. And if it had to be one of us, I was going to actually choose myself, because I deserve to live a life that I'm happy and healthy. So when I did that life update, I was still in the middle of everything, and, the issues are still ongoing, but I came off when I was listening to it very like harsh, I feel like, because you can't summarize, 10 years of abuse in a podcast episode, in a 30-minute little segment on a podcast.
Yeah.
So it came off very like, oh, wow. And it's like, I just wanted to be very clear that this wasn't an overnight decision. The relationship I have with my mom, I am going to try to rebuild it. I, talked to Hayley about it, about giving it one last go with some boundaries and, having a tough talk with her, which would have already been done by the time this airs. So I'll update y'all, let you know how that goes. But, I do love my mother. I do want to have a loving relationship with her. I think every kid wants that. But, it took a lot of time to put myself first, because I spent so many years putting her first and being that perfect daughter. So before you're like quick to judge me on that episode, I just want you to know that the work has been done and it was not appreciated. So I decided to put myself first and appreciate myself and put my mental health and my family first. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna say about that, boy.
Am I allowed a rebuttal?
You are allowed a rebuttal.
Okay. So, first of all, of course you can't condense an entire relationship into a 30-minute segment. If anyone thinks that's listening, it's called Nuance. But I don't think you were harsh at all.
Thank you.
Personally. I think that you could have been way more cutthroat than you were. Just like with the comment section, it could be worse. Absolutely. I think that I honestly think that you handled it well. Like, I think you explained it tactfully without like exposing every shadow in the relationship you have with your mom.
Right. Yeah.
And, sometimes the truth is not pretty. It's just not.
Very true. Very
And,
true.
I think you tried to represent it the best you could in like the time that you had. But also, if anyone has a problem with it or thinks that you should do something differently or you shouldn't feel the way that you feel, they are more than welcome to try and come down and take a little spin, see how they feel. But also, like, you cannot judge someone's relationship from the outside.
So
like
true.
accurately.
Yeah. I love that take though. Like, yeah, if you guys want to support my mom, I'll drop her Venmo. You can do it. I've been doing it. You can do it.
Yeah. Also, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like most people can't really afford to support themselves right now, let alone someone else.
So true.
So if they have the financial stability to do that, feel free to step up.
Yeah.
Adopt me as well.
Right. Yes, we were like in Walmart to like transition. We were in Walmart and like a clock that Brian bought for like, I think he said it was like $3 to $5 back in like 4 years ago is $17. And we were like losing our minds. We were both like, this is inflation. This is so wild. It was a basic Walmart clock. They wanted $17 for it.
That
I know. Okay.
I would want to get murderous.
I know. But speaking of murderous, we have been murdering our bodies with these fad diets that we used to do, and we're going to talk about them and how they affected us. What's the worst one on your list? Let's start there. The worst fad diet you ever did.
Oh, God. Phentermine for sure. I don't like, that's not technically a fad diet, but I feel like it's a fad diet product.
Right.
One, because not only did it not really work, like I lost a little weight, I gained it all back and then some.
Mm-hmm.
And not only was I taking basically speed,
right.
I was barely eating.
Right.
And then the second time I tried it, it gave me such bad anxiety that I was like, get this shit away from me.
Jesus.
Like, I didn't have any fad diet experiences that were like life-threatening or extremely negative other than them not working though. Like, that's thankfully, I'm thankful that I didn't have that, but at least I didn't try the cotton ball diet.
Yeah, you know what? We can both say that. No cotton balls in here. Yeah.
How about you?
I would say for me, veganism, which I know is not a fad diet. I used it as a diet instead of like a lifestyle, if that makes sense. What happened was I watched a PETA video and I was like 15, maybe 14 at the time, and it really impacted me. Like, it did exactly what the marketing wanted it to do, made me feel like a bad person, everything like that. So I became a vegan and it took my gallbladder. Like, I was eating. Yeah, it like literally almost killed me. Veganism almost killed me. I like wasn't eating properly. I was eating very processed vegan foods, and my gallbladder could not handle it. I got a bunch of gallstones, ended up fucking almost dying. We've heard the story, whatever. So definitely being a really shitty vegan was like the worst diet I ever did.
That's wild. I think I think it's good to discuss that though, because I feel like, I mean, you already have, but I'm glad that you shared that story, because I feel like vegetarianism, vegan, pescatarian, like those types of diets, I feel like it's easy to assume that you're cutting out most meat or all animal products. So it can't be bad for you.
Right.
But it actually, if you're not careful with what you consume, if you're not careful with what you consume and you're not on top of like taking supplements, you can make yourself very sick.
Very sick.
Like chronically sick.
It affected me for the rest of my life. It damaged my body for the rest of my life. It damaged my hormones. It damaged my thyroid. I lost a gallbladder out of it. You know what I mean? Like trauma, which affects your brain. So definitely going to give that a 1 star out of 5. Don't recommend being vegan unless you're really prepared to change every aspect of your life. Like, you have to do the research and make sure that you are living the healthiest version of veganism that you can, and not consuming processed vegan food, because it's the same as eating just regular processed food. Your body just cannot handle it in large amounts. Mine couldn't. I'm gonna speak for myself.
Yeah.
My body couldn't handle it in large amounts. So don't recommend.
I think that's a good point to make. Like, I know there's such a thing as a junk food vegan, and it's kind of like what you're describing.
Yeah.
And I feel like processed foods can have their place, but you can't, it's like any food really. You can't survive on just that.
Exactly. Yep.
I just realized I did not rate phentermine. I'd say 1 star.
Yeah, right?
If that.
1 star because it was medical. Like, they prescribed it to you. Like, ew, 1 star medical industry.
I mean, you can see now that they're handing out Ozempic and all the other shots like penny candy. So
absolutely.
That part doesn't surprise me at all. Like, yeah. I guess in terms of medical fads, like I tried Topamax, Metformin. I don't know if this is the same, but like all those medications that are not made for weight loss, but like that can be like a little bonus. Tried them all. They all made me feel like shit or didn't help at all.
Oh, absolutely. Well, when I got on the fiber powder because of my diverticulitis, the first thing the doctor said to me was, "This will help you lose weight. It will make you feel full and you'll stop overeating."
That's not how that...
And I was like, "You don't even know me. This is the first time we've ever... Hi, I'm Sam. Nice to meet you. I'm here because of pockets in my intestine." Like, not because I'm overeating. You know what I mean?
Right.
Wild.
Also, like, I feel like he could have said, "This will help you lose weight because it's going to help you shit."
Yeah.
like, you're taking big dumps.
Big dumps. Like, I've never seen such long dumps. I didn't know what you guys were out here doing. They're so long. I'm like, "Babe, come look at this."
Yep.
And he's like, "No." I'm like, "This is dropping sausages in this toilet, bro."
I love how... No. I'm not looking at your poopy.
He refuses to look at my dumps, and I hate that, because some of them are art. Some of them I'm making masterpieces in there.
I'm dying right now because we only have the one bathroom, so we have times where both of us are in there. Yeah. And there have been times when I've had to poop while he's in the shower, and I've flushed after he was already out, and I'm like, "Don't look at it! Don't look!" And I don't care about anything else, but poop is the one thing. Like, I don't want him to see what I do in there. I don't want him to see the pile, no logs, nothing like that. He's like, "I've seen it before."
We're the opposite. I'm like, "Come and look at what just came out of my body."
I don't want to see his either, though. Like, he's told me that, and I'm like, "I'm good. You can just tell me."
Yeah, Brian shuts the door, and I'm like, "No, dude, let's talk." Because when I'm pooping, it's like, "Look, this is the perfect time for a deep conversation right now." Yes. And I'm like, "No."
But then what's the other way around? They need space.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Oh my god.
I see we both have Atkins.
Yeah, I also have that in South Beach. They're basically the same.
They're the same.
Just like a decade apart.
Yeah. Yep. I have SlimFast, which is, liquid diet.
Yeah. The sad thing about SlimFast, I was never like, that was never part of my diet, but I used to want SlimFast. Like as a kid, I thought it looked good, and I would ask my mom, and she's like, "No, that stuff doesn't work anyway." But imagine like being a child and being like, "I want SlimFast."
Yeah.
That's. But I was also on Atkins when I was like 6.
Same.
So
that's what's first, because it was my first diet. It was the first one. Yeah. I always wanted that Nutrisystem, but we could never afford it. But I was like,
oh yeah, that shit was expensive.
If I could just get Nutrisystem, all my problems would go away. Like,
that's how they market all of these.
Mm-hmm.
At least with Atkins and South Beach, the worst you're out is like a book and some meals, but it's crazy. I don't know. I do not remember enough about Atkins to really have an opinion about it. And South Beach, like, I mean, it didn't work, but it definitely wasn't the worst diet I experienced. All the food was good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm not going to like promote a diet or anything like that. That's not what it is. It's just, it's one of the least offensive.
Right. So like a 3 out of 5. Like, not the worst. Food was pretty decent. I mean, the 5, it doesn't mean it's good. It just means it didn't like suck hard. 5 is still not good, everybody. Like, that's the joke.
Yeah.
Like,
glad you said that. Yeah.
Yeah. We're not here to be like 5 stars.
10 out of 10 recommend. Starving yourself. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. No, what? No.
No.
Oh my God. Let's see. I do have keto on here. I did keto for a long time. And people still recommend keto, which is wild. Like, it just drives me crazy. Like, especially people with like insulin resistance, because like, they're like, oh, if you have PCOS, like it's like you gotta watch your insulin. You gotta watch your insulin. And like, I totally get that. Like, if there's science behind it, sign me up, buddy. But also, like, I'm like, no one should consume this amount of bacon. And I feel like keto is just like meat all the time. Meat and cheese. And it's like, cheese spikes blood sugar, like for people like me. So.
Yeah. I feel like what keto is supposed to be, like in the medical sense, is not how keto, like, it's not marketed like that.
Right.
It's marketed like you can eat all the bacon and cheese that you want. It's still marketed like to get people to think that they don't really have to restrict, like that there's some sort of shortcut to weight loss.
Right.
I've never intentionally done keto. I will say that. A lot of I eat keto products now because I do try to watch my sugar intake, and also because they have a lot of fiber in them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get them for the fiber.
Yeah.
I hate that it says keto all over it when I get it, but if it tastes good and there's fiber, I've got to poop, Yeah.
Yeah. Fiber is so important. Like, that's the same. Like, I have those like soft tacos that are like, they're the
Carb Smart ones.
Fucking Carb Smart.
Yeah.
Yes, they're so soft and they have so much fiber in them. And I'm like, we just brought them for like a dinner party we went to, and I literally had to be like, disclaimer. I was like, listen, I'm not trying to have you guys watch carbs. I don't care. Yeah. These are the softest freaking flour tortillas out there, and they have so much fiber. Yeah.
For real. I have some keto like protein bars from Aldi. One bar has like 8 grams of fiber in it.
Yeah.
Why would I not eat that?
Exactly.
Like, I don't know. I've always, anytime someone has done keto around me, it's just been like I'm gonna hold my tongue, because it just bugs me. Because I feel like it got really popular after I started to be aware of like diet culture and how it's like really bad for us. And then when everybody was trying to do it, I just felt like, oh, good for you.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I don't comment on anyone's diets, anyone's like, me, I don't comment on your body, and I don't comment on what you put in your body. But like, I just did, like, my friends were doing Whole30, and I tried it. Like, I was like, okay, like, this must not be a fad, right? Like, this has to be like an actual lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did it and I was like, oh, this feels fatty. This feels like
Mm-hmm.
a fad diet. Feels like it has a whole cult. But some of the stuff is really great, but I wouldn't be like, oh, I can't believe you're doing Whole30 at 32. Like me, like to
Yeah.
myself, like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I thought it
I
was a
didn't
good
even
idea.
I didn't even consider like Whole30 or clean eating like fad diets, I guess. Even though I guess they are, that's not
Yeah.
what I think of when someone says a fad diet.
Same. It's kind of like a gray area because it's more of
Mm-hmm.
like the type of eating you're doing, I think, but
Yeah.
it still feels fatty because of the like cult around it. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like if it has a
Yeah.
cult following, it becomes a fad. And
Yeah.
like Whole30 absolutely has a cult following, but some of the things are like actually super nutritious. Like avocado oil is really good for you,
Mm-hmm.
And that's like their whole thing is like cutting oils, only using avocado oil. So I liked it and I liked doing it. But when I was doing it, it did make me feel like I was doing, keto or like I was doing Atkins, just being like
Yeah.
so restrictive with
Mm-hmm.
the food I was consuming and also the amount of money I was spending. Because I
Oh
feel like
yeah.
with fad diets comes like super expensive costs,
Yeah.
And that's
It's
why I
like a
put
big
in that.
startup cost.
It's a big startup cost. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That
that's why I
was
have it in there.
like I tried paleo for a little bit because I was like meat, like
Right. Right.
caveman type shit. But it did not last very long because of the cost
Yeah,
and how limited like some of the things are. I can't
yeah.
even remember at this point, but like I'm pretty sure you couldn't even eat like regular potatoes.
Oh, I
Like
wouldn't be surprised.
it was like common foods
Right.
that are common nowadays, but they're trying to get you to eat like a caveman,
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
And I was like a couple years out of college when I tried it. So it was like, I don't have money for this shit.
Right.
Like,
Same.
it
Yeah.
lasted 2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
Oop, my
Same
bad.
with Whole30. It was like you can eat like you could have sweet potatoes but not regular potatoes. And
Hmm.
I'm like, dude, like on like a blood sugar level, those two affect you the exact same way. On a
Yeah.
nutrition level, sweet potatoes are better because of the nutrients. Like I get it, but it was so restrictive in a way and so freaking expensive. So
Yeah.
expensive. So
I
expensive.
think regular potatoes get a bad rap though. Like
They do.
they still offer like regular potatoes still offer nutrients. They have fiber in them.
Yes.
And should you eat all potato all the time? Probably not.
Probably
I
not.
wouldn't judge you, but probably not.
Right.
But it's like it's not like you're eating a 5-pound candy bar.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
they're a decent carb source. And that I think is one of the big fads that I think is so messed up how demonized carbs are.
Yes.
It's so like your brain literally needs them. Without
Right.
carbs, you will die.
Right.
And it
Yes.
makes you like really unhealthy.
Right. There's this like there is this nutritionist on TikTok that I love. She was talking about she basically broke down why you needed everything, like protein to feel
Hmm.
satisfied, fats to feel full. Like she went through the list of like why your plate needs every single one of these types of foods. And
Hmm.
it like she just promoted like eating for your body like in a nutritionist way, and it didn't matter what the protein was, it didn't matter what the healthy fat was. So it's like these diets can be so restrictive as to like what you're choosing in
Yeah.
that category, and I think that's why it becomes so unapproachable. Like even like intermittent fasting it has become this thing of like, well, you can, if you intermittent fast after you get done, you can eat whatever you want, as many calories as you want. And it's like, that's not promoting a healthy eating a healthy pattern of eating, a healthy
No.
relationship with food. You are promoting disordered eating, and you're
Yeah.
not teaching anyone how to actually what food is for. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's
It's
wild.
basically promoting binge eating.
It's promoting binge eating.
It's messed up. I know that it definitely messed with your hormones. I know that you mentioned that whenever you were talking about your experiences.
Mm-hmm.
I never tried it as intensely as like you did. Like I never went days without eating or anything like that. I'd never even heard of that until you said that.
Yeah.
In terms of intermittent fasting. But it felt like the minute I tried it and it was like, oh, you can only eat during these hours. An hour after that ended, I was hungry when I normally wouldn't have been.
Right. Yeah.
It just felt like it felt restricting and like, I don't know, I did not feel free, you know? I
Right.
didn't feel like I could be mindful about food or anything like that. It felt like just an arbitrary rule.
Exactly.
And because of that, I wanted to go against it.
Right. Well, we know why.
We do. We do.
I will still do fasting when I am on, like, I do a spiritual fast. So, like, if I feel like I am just bombarded with consumption, I will do a spiritual fast where I'll do like 3 days of no food, and all I'm doing is meditating and journaling and doing some like low impact yoga. Like, I'm really trying to reconnect with my spiritual self. I just cut out all consumption because I get like that. I get so like hyper focused on everything I'm consuming that I can't focus on anything else, if that makes sense. So I'll cut it all out. And then like that's the only type of fasting I do now. But when my doctor recommended intermittent fasting, I literally looked at her and like was shocked, because it was like, do you not like listen when we've talked about everything I've done and how intermittent fasting like permanently damaged my thyroid, like,
yeah,
forever? Like, really? Like, that's your solution? Come on.
yeah,
Come on. Be so for real right now, you know? So I
yeah.
definitely don't do that anymore, but I will do like spiritual fasts still.
Do you not think that that is also not helping your thyroid?
Oh, I'm sure
Because
it's
3
not.
days is still a long time.
It's long,
And
and
I feel like consumption in modern society is different than feeding yourself, like just fueling your body.
yeah, it's not good. I don't like, obviously this is not advice. I don't think anyone should do this, because I do like a dry fast, which means I don't even consume water, and that's not healthy on any level. But it's just something that I have found that helps me personally reconnect with my spiritual body. But that's like a personal thing. It's a personal practice. It's not something I would ever recommend anyone do at any time. But it's just something for me, and it's probably absolutely not helping in any way, shape, or form. Like, you know what I mean? I'm sure it's
I'm sure
not
you can
helping out
see the
thyroid.
concern all over my
Yeah,
face.
I'm sure, yeah. Like, it's not, even when like I'm doing it, Brian's like, you know,
Yeah.
lurking. He's not a fan of it, so I can't do it often. I would say like once a quarter, you know, if I feel like I need to. If that makes sense.
Bro,
Yeah.
that's so often.
Okay. Anyway, so rating intermittent fasting, I'm gonna give that a 2 out of 5, because it didn't almost kill me, but it did permanently damage me. So
0 for me.
0 for you. Whole 30, Whole 30, I'm gonna do a 4 out of 5. It wasn't that bad. It was still restrictive,
Yeah.
but it does focus on some like really good nutrition. So I'll give it that. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it has like I feel like there are good like things that you can learn about nutrition and stuff like that with Whole 30, like building blocks. I think the problem might be when you're doing it for 30 days or like to achieve a certain goal and then afterwards it's like, well, back to normal.
Yeah.
Like that can definitely cause issues.
Exactly. It's really about like all of this. I feel like this whole episode is really us being like, listen, look at all of these ways that disordered eating has been fed to us, has been promoted to us, has been sold to us. Like, look at all of these different names for disordered eating and an unhealthy relationship with food.
Indeed. Look at all the ways.
Look at all the ways, such as spiritual fasting.
Yup.
Yeah, so to summarize this episode, diets are trash. Feed your body. Okay? Carbs are great for your brain. Like, it's okay.
And energy levels.
Yeah. It's okay to eat even if you're fat. Feed your fucking body. Don't be ashamed of what you're putting in to fuel your brain and your poor heart.
Drink water.
Drink water.
Don't let a day go by without drinking water. It's very important.
Very important. And that's it. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Apparently, my intervention.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to talk business afterwards anyway, so she can't get away.
Hey, where can they find us, Hayley?
They can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Threads at Plus Size Section. On TikTok, the Plus Size Section. If you want to send us anything, Reddit stories, personal stories, diets that suck, you can do that at the Plus Size Section at gmail.com. And we would love it if you'd give us a little 5-star rating and leave a review, and also share this podcast with your friends. I think that's it.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.